I got a feeling that you got me covered too. I got you covered. I got you covered.
Can you hear me now? This whole entire time I've been talking and the sound's off. Oh, goodness. Hi, Paula. Thank you, Wills, for telling me. I wish I could relive. Hopefully you can hear me now. So I will go into the edit and actually, I'll cut the section out where you apparently can't hear me, or put a note or something. Boy, oh boy. What? Hold on a second. We're going to hold just a moment. You'll just not see me for just a second. Give us just a minute. Josh is walking by. I mean, if I'd have done the whole stream silent, back to silent films, right? If somebody hadn't told me, boy. Because when we do Blessings Through Connection, I make sure the audio's off. So see, you know, people telling you your audio's off, right? I'm doing pretty good. I had kind of a rough night's sleep, which is pretty common for somebody with fibromyalgia. For those that didn't hear me, we gifted our memberships. We gift memberships on the second and fourth week of the month. If you are a monetized channel and not branded, you are able to give 10 memberships free a month. YouTube gives you those to give out. So we did our 5, and you'll see them in the chat. Living Life with Lena, JJ's Adventures, she's cooking and roasting. Life with Tanisha, and Brooke Trout won those memberships tonight. So that is awesome. Love to see people in the membership. Love seeing anybody that comes in here and support, whether they're members or not. We love y'all, and we're grateful for each and every one of you. Believe me. So, yes. If you're monetized, you can go into, as long as you're not a branded channel. They cannot do it with branded channels. After we're down the road, we become branded, then we've decided we'll still gift memberships. But as long as you're if you're a branded channel, they won't allow you to do it. But you have to, in order to do it, it was kind of complicated to figure out how to do it, but I'll run it through real quick and then we're going to get into our topic. You have your live running, but then you have to open your live up in another window, and you have to look at your live as if you're going into somebody else's live. And down on the bottom, it'll say like the $, and you go ahead and click there, and it'll say gift memberships, and I'll show you the 10 memberships. So as long as you're not a branded channel and you're monetized, YouTube does allow you to, they give you 10 memberships. You don't get any revenue off of them, but it's nice to be able to do that. And so you have to go, I have to open, it on Google. You have to do it on computer. You can't do it on phone. You have to open the window through Google, YouTube, go to your channel and look at the $. Go to the live, open it up, look for the $, and click that, and you'll see where it says to do it. And we give those out on the second and fourth week of the month. So let's get into our topic tonight. This was 20 ways to overcome personal discouragement. I don't care what you are going through in life. You're going to run up with discouragement. It happens. And sometimes you have to do one of two things. You have to decide, guess what? I'm discouraged. I'm frustrated, but I'm going to either pivot one way, I'm going to change direction, or I'm going to keep going at it. And sometimes we don't go at it long enough for it to actually be successful. We stop right before we're supposed to have things happen. And I remember when we were raising money for my daughter's autism service dog, that was if you're not sitting down, you may want to sit down, just so you know. That was a $1,000 mountain to climb. I knew she needed it. There was nothing anybody could say or do that was going to deter me from getting her that dog, because I was in such a state at that point with everything where I knew that she needed the dog for social reasons, also because we had tried everything. Usually those with autism have a very difficult time sleeping. Hands down, they have a difficult time sleeping. And so they have found that most people with autism sleep best with a warm body beside them. And so I knew that it was going to be beneficial for her to have a service dog. And sure enough, it was literally life-changing for us as a family and for my daughter. And now she's grown, she's married, she is a cashier, which is very hard to believe. I'm beyond surprised at that, but she does a wonderful job. There are actually people that will wait for my daughter in line, if the line's free in other places, they'll actually wait to actually have her check out them, because she's just so personable and so friendly. And she goes and works with horses twice a week. It's just wonderful, wonderful to see. And I love seeing her blossom the way that she has. But I know Jordan was a huge factor in the reason why she was as she was and is now. And that was a huge hurdle to climb, but there wasn't anything going to stop me. I remember we had a neighbor of ours who brought over a can, one of those coffee cans full of coins. And my husband said to me, well, we can go ahead and just take this to the local coin machine and, go ahead and have the coin machine go ahead and do it. And I said, oh no, we're going to count every solitary penny and dime. And we sat there doing it because I didn't want to give 1 cent to a machine. Everything needed to go to my daughter. And the person that donated that funds, I wanted them to know every cent went towards that $15,000 goal it was going to take to raise the money for the service dog. We got Jordan in 2012. He served her for 7 years. He was an amazing autism service dog. I am just beyond blessed that we were able to have them, and that dog really helped my daughter in so many ways. So with that being said, it was a great hill to climb. I had a lot of people kind of trying to say, I don't know about this. My mother who said, I shouldn't have known you. You're going to do this, right? No matter what. She said to me, I even wondered whether you were going to actually make that goal. And she said, once you made that goal, I knew, guess what? I should have known better. You were going to do this, and you were going to be the one to, be able to get it and do it. And I went to television stations, and I got turned down with several different television stations to get her on the air. And sure enough, I finally found somebody. Even if I had to go back and forth over and over and over again, I was going to go to those television stations and keep knocking on the doors until they heard me, until they were willing to do the story for her, because it was so important out there. And then they did her story, and they said, well, unfortunately, we're going to have to move her story because something else was happening. We lived in Florida at the time, down in South Florida. And you know what? That was God, because they moved her story at a perfect time when actually the person that needed to see it, who called the station up and was a very wealthy man in South Florida, who said, you know what, I want to donate the full amount. So he donated the full amount to be able to have, the service dog in place for her. So, you know what? I remember getting that phone call just wanting to cry, because I thought, I've done it. Not only did I raise the $15,000 needed in 2012 for her service dog, but we raised an actual $1,500 more for another child to have a service animal. And so, when we get discouraged, we have to decide at times whether we need to continue down the road or whether we need to pivot. Do we need to stop and move to something else, or do we need to pivot? There was nothing going to take me off that road of getting her that dog. I was going to continue to go forward with that dog. And I'm so glad I did. So this article is talking about, and I put it in the description below, as far as 21 different things. Now it does say, and it does give 5 signs it's time to move on. Okay, so let's look at those first, only because I think they're important, and to realize there are 5 signs that that you need to kind of maybe think, well, you know what, maybe I need to move on. And that is, one of them is there a circle of wise counsel telling you to move on? Is the advice of other people maybe looking at the situation, close friends, colleagues, a counselor, a pastor, what have you, saying, you know what, you need to move on? Have you lost confidence in the leadership? Maybe it's a work environment or so forth, as what they're kind of talking about. Is your passion gone? That's a really important part. Is your passion gone, right? About the thing. I was so passionate about getting my daughter her service dog. There was nothing going to stop me from doing that. And I was going to go forward with that no matter what. And so my passion was there. Now, did I get discouraged through the process? Absolutely. Are there times through this YouTube journey that I'm like, why bother? Yes. And I am so passionate about this channel, about the connection, about building a community. I love seeing what's happening when, the little bit of revenue that does come through that my mom gets, and she's able to do that and able to have those things, to be able to, helps her a little bit here or there. And we don't meet the requirement. You have to have, through YouTube, $100 bridged every month in order for them to be able to do a paycheck out. So it's not met every month, but when it does, it warms my heart. And, I'm very thankful for that, for her. But that service dog, I was not going to stop continuing to go forward no matter what. I was going to continue going forward and continue to do what needed to get done. And here's another one. Your vision, has it vaporized? Has your vision for whatever you were going through or doing, was it just going, you know what? It's not happening. So the first, those are 5 signs. And the other one was maybe a spouse is encouraging you to, as well, to maybe change directions or so forth. And sometimes we need to talk these things out, right? The first one that is 21 things you can do to help you in a moment of discouragement or a season of discouragement. Because we have to remember, sometimes we have seasons of discouragement. And so one of them, the first step, is remembering past victories. Why did I talk about my daughter's fundraising that I did back in 2012 for her service dog? It was because I wanted to remember a past victory. I remember being at work when I got the phone call that said, you have the funds needed to be able to start training for her service animal. I was just ecstatic. I felt like I won the lottery that day. And why did I talk about that? Is because right now I'm kind of going through a little season of discouragement. And so remembering, listen, I had a passion for that service dog that I knew was going to change a child's life, and nothing was going to stop me. Well, it's kind of what I'm going through over here a little bit. Nothing's going to stop me from doing what I know can be done, and to be able to get where we have been in this YouTube journey is pretty amazing. I've been reminded over the past couple of weeks, there's a lot of channels that don't even get to where we are. And I'm grateful for every solitary person that has hit the connection button, not the subscribe button, the connection button, right? And I'm grateful beyond belief because we are building a community. But go back in your life at times when you're in a discouraging moment and look at things that you have accomplished in sometimes moment of discouragement that were past victories. And getting her that service dog and raising the $15,000 needed for it was absolutely something that I can go back to over and over again and say, you did that. The second little suggestion they gave you was keep an encouragement file. I kind of love this. I absolutely thought this was just amazing. And I do have a box here, and it's actually in the other room, but I have a box, and we have a P.O. box. Anybody that has sent me a card over the time of having this channel, or my mother a card, we put it in that box. And it's funny because the box actually has a cow on the box, and I'll tell you why that was significant. When I was looking, you get the boxes at like Hobby Lobby, right? When I got the box, I actually picked out the one with the cow on it. And I'll tell you why I did. When I was in school, I was often teased very, very heavily. And very, very heavily in school. And I can tell you honestly, I'm really glad that I picked the box with the cow on it. Because in school, I was called a cow. I wasn't the thinnest girl in the world, but I wasn't certainly the heaviest thing in the world either. And the kids would call me that, especially about 6th through 8th grade. I was really heavily teased and bullied, and that was my name. Wonderful, isn't it? And I picked up that box with the cow on it. I said, I am going to look at that cow with a smile on my face versus tears in my eyes. And I'm going to say, I'm going to overcome that. And so when anybody sends a card here through Blessed to Crochet, right? I absolutely 100% put it in that box. And at times when I get discouraged about something, I go to that box and I look and I go through and read the letter about how much this channel has made a difference in somebody's life. And I'm really, really glad that I have that. And that's only going to grow. And I am so glad to have that. I love that. Keep an encouragement file. They call it a file, a box, whatever. Do something special, but keep an encouragement file. When somebody does a kind note, or even they're even talking about keep a folder in my email. I love that too. We get emails too. If you get emails, which, we have our email address here for Blessed to Crochet, keep an email and be able to put, maybe encouragement in that. And you can go back and read those emails. I think that's a great thing to do. And it helps to read and thanks from people that you've been able to help in the past. Another one is get moving. Now, here's one thing that can be difficult, right? In a position of kind of being, especially somebody that is dealing with fibromyalgia, right? When you are dealing with fibromyalgia, this is a time where you're really struggling with pain. Some days are easier than others. And so moving's not always an option. But if you can't because you're dealing with pain, maybe you look up, what is it? I can't think of it. Like look up on YouTube and look up on YouTube and be able to, look at those chair exercises, right? And be able to just, that much, but just be able to get moving, right? Just be able to get moving. If you can't get up and take a stroll and take a walk and change your outlook, change your scenery, right? Just get up and move. Get a moving. Get those things going. And that really, really helps. And so I know sometimes it's just changing the environment. I know yesterday I was really cold and I went outside, just chatted with y'all, and I felt so much better after I did that. So if you can't get out and take a walk because you're dealing with a chronic illness, that's okay. That's fine. Go ahead and find a way to go out there and be able to just get a walk and do something, right? And that makes a huge difference. And if you can't sit maybe and find a video where you can get some music going and get the arms going and so forth, find a way to move, find a way to just change your environment for a few minutes and refresh yourself. Take a break from whatever it is. I'm going to say this right now. I don't know whether the notifications have gone out to YouTube or not. But this is not easy right now. I'm not stopping. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep moving. This is too important to stop. I'm going to keep moving. And I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to show up for me. I'm going to show up for whoever's in the chat. I'm going to show up for whoever's watching this on the replay. Because maybe they're going through the exactly same thing. Maybe they're struggling the same way. And it's real easy, especially in this environment. I'm not just talking about YouTube, whatever it is, to just come into something that you're going through or you're doing and say, why bother? And just walk away from it. But you can't do that. When you have passion in your heart about something, you got to keep pressing forward. You got to keep doing it. You got to keep moving. So that was, we'll see what number we're on now. That was number 3. Get moving. It says here, I got something on my phone. It says here, go for a walk, hop on a bike, go for a hike, go for a run, hit the gym, or as a minimum, just take a stroll down the sidewalk or around the office. But sometimes because of things, hi DZ, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it so much. Sometimes those that are dealing with chronic pain can't always do that. So say, okay, I got to get moving. How can I get moving and still not put myself in a situation where I may be really hurting by doing that? So you need to do that according to how your body's going to handle that. The 4th thing is to take a break. Every 5 to 15 minutes break can refocus you or break the negativity string of thoughts tying you down. Absolutely. What happens when we get discouraged is we have these tapes running through our head. They have been running through my head. That's why I did it. I was so kind of proud of myself. I took that little section out, and for those that don't know, I don't have any hair. I was not born with much hair. I have baby fine hair, and my mom did the Flowbee yesterday. I mean, I just have baby fine hair. It's not something that I was given. Unfortunately, it was not some of the things that I was graced for. And some reason, this whole thing, I don't know what this thing is doing today. It's decided, we're just going to stick out. I don't know what it's doing. I have to go look at it. But when I came on live, I'm like, okay, something's going on over here. We have to take a look at that, right? Something didn't get cut in the Flowbee that needs to just be trimmed up a little bit. But anyway, to go back, Little side note, squirrel moment. But here's the thing. We have to realize that we have to sometimes just take a break. We have to move away from the situation, and sometimes I do that with crochet. Sometimes I go and I work on Canva and I need a break from that, right? It's good to take a break and refocus and go back. I think sometimes we have to decide, are we willing to ride this out? And the answer for this is absolutely 100% yes. I am going to ride this train. I cannot ride it anymore because it's too important to the people that have hit that connection button, the people that will hit the connection button, and we're trying to build a community. We're not trying to build an audience. I have a great passion in my heart for it. Now, sometimes the discouragement comes in and them tapes start going, and they have been going a lot. You know, those tapes come in and they sit there and go, don't even bother. Why are you going to go live? Nobody's going to be there. Why are you doing that? Why are you making that? You know, whatever. Maybe you have a business that you're making something. Why are you doing that? Nobody's going to buy that. Right? Why bother going out? Nobody wants to spend time with you. All those things kind of go through your head, right? They go through and they start circulating. Why bother? Nobody's going to care. You know, why don't you just give up? Move on to something else. You're no good at that. All of those things start going through your head. And if you allow those things to go in your head and keep doing them, boy, oh boy, I wouldn't be on this stream tonight. I wouldn't be talking about this because that little AI baby that I made last night, and I'm going to make some more of those too. Those were really kind of fun to make. You know, I figured out how to do it under Chat GPT, making the baby, and then being able to take the audio from different videos and be able to put it with it. And I thought that was just so much fun. So I'm planning to do more of those. I really, really kind of enjoyed that. But, you know, we have to remember that if we allow that negative talk to kind of enter in the head, So sometimes when those things start, we need to call a friend. We need to go for a walk. I knew coming on here absolutely is what I needed to do. Listening to the voices that said, don't even bother. No, they're not winning. I will not allow them to win. And here's the thing about, something to just keep in mind as you're going forward with things, is that we have to remember that it is just so important to be present. It's so important to be present. Pay attention when you're allowing those things to kind of come on in. You're allowing those things to kind of undermine what you know, right? You can do. I know I'm good at this. I got the talking voice, right? I know I'm good. And you know what? There was a comment put on a post from somebody. And I will be responding to that. They don't know how much that comment meant. And it just says, I haven't been there for a while, but I just want you to know, keep doing what you're doing. And you're thought of often. And I thought, thank you. I so needed that. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for encouraging me like that. I needed to hear that. Hi, Jeffrey. I needed to hear that. So when we're starting to get them discouraging little voices in our head, we need to go, You can decide how you want to, whether you want to listen to them or not. Here's another one. I really like this one, right? Grab lunch with somebody. Do not grab lunch with somebody that is going to be a negative Nancy. If you're in a moment or a season of discouragement, going out with somebody that's going to say, well, this and this, and no. You don't want them to give you the sugar and the spice and all that kind of stuff. You want them to be honest with you and so forth, and maybe give you suggestions and help you through it. But don't go out with somebody that's going to be a negative Nancy when you're in the middle of discouragement. Because if I had gone out with somebody who was a negative Nancy when we were trying to raise money, hi Christopher W., we were trying to raise money for Christina's service dog, right? I'm telling you right now, I may not have gotten that dog. And I had enough people around me that I knew the ones that were going, I don't know why my nose is itching tonight. Like, you can't do this. This isn't really going to make much difference. I just knew it was going to make the difference for her, and it did. And I'm so glad that I didn't listen to any of those other people. So go have lunch with a friend. Go grab lunch with a friend and encourage them, and maybe if you see somebody that's is going through a time when they're having a little bit of a discouraging moment, you know what? Get with them and say, you want to go to lunch? Would you like to go to lunch? You have no idea. Maybe they really need it. Maybe you can see, especially if you're really close to them, maybe you can see that they're going through a hard time, and maybe say, listen, can we go grab a cup of coffee? Right? Being around positive people makes you positive. Don't go out to lunch with somebody who's a negative Nancy. Number 6, don't spend too much time with people who discourage you. Well, you can't eliminate time with draining people entirely. Limit it. Positive and negative are contagious. Okay? We have those people in our lives that can be negative. I would like to go to lunch. Me too, right? I'd like to have some coffee, please. Absolutely. We have some people in our lives that we know are negative. I love Mama. I love my mother, but sometimes she can come in with them negative little wing dingers, and I have to be the one she's the pessimist, and I have to kind of be the optimist. And I have to remind her of stuff. But that's how we balance each other out. We're good for each other with that. But we have to remember that we all have those negative Nancys in our lives, and we can't totally kind of take them out of our lives, especially if they're family members and we love them. But we can limit, we can control when we're around them if we can. And if we're going through a difficult time, they don't get to go out to lunch with you. That's just it. Work on something new. I love this tactic. New always refreshes me. Sure, I have to get core work done, but adding a new project into the mix is exciting. I'm telling you, doing that little baby AI, if y'all haven't checked out that short that we did with the We Shine Brighter Together, with the little AI baby that I did the other night, I'm telling you, that little thing, just in the moment of kind of feeling a little down yesterday, it kind of was exciting to figure out, well, how do you do that? And so I went and did that short, and I took something from our live last night and I actually put it in with the baby, and it's absolutely stinking adorable. I showed it to Josh and he goes, that's adorable, right? That's absolutely, cute. And it was really kind of refreshing to make that AI video, something I had never done before. I didn't know how to do it. I had just seen them kind of everywhere pop up all of a sudden. Like, I'm going to figure out how to do this. And it was exciting to put it together and realize, wait a minute, I can do a lot more than I like. And it kind of sparked a little bit of something. And Sandy Wandy said, oh, it's so cute. And I said, yes, I'll be doing some more of those for sure. I will be doing more of those. Boy, you're lucky. I turned 18 and left the Marine Corps. Thank you for your service, by the way. Boot camp. My mother said, don't come back here. Never. I am so sorry. You can make those and sell them online, digital art. Yep. I don't know if you've seen the one I did last night, but I'm telling you, I a little impressed my little self. That's why I used the thumbnail has the photo of the little baby. And then at the very end of the short, I actually put clapping. And then I had Mrs. Doubtfire took that little, help is on the way, dear. And I put that because when we're going through discouragement, don't be silent about it. Don't be silent about it. And so it was really cute how I did it. I was like, okay, I'm going to do more of these for sure. I've got to do one for my daughter now. Clean up your workspace. Most people feel better in a clean space. Organize your desk, run your car through a car wash, vacuum the carpets, begin in clean and order environment impacts mood for most of us. Absolutely 100%. We recently, I have a black cabinet. This is our bedroom in our apartment that we live in. And this is Josh and Mai's room. And next to the computer is a black cabinet. Now, we don't want to put heavy stuff, clothes, all of our clothes, not that we have tons of them, in the closet, especially because in Ohio there's winter clothes and all that kind of stuff. Because every place we've lived since I've been married to Josh almost has had the Josh closet. And it's because we had one closet happen one time where it literally came crashing down and Josh was like, that's it. And when he put them closet shelves in, he put them with hooks and whatever. I mean, he didn't use what came in the boxes. He used like heavy duty. So this one and then the one we had at our place in Cincinnati and so forth, they all were structurally you could put, I think, a tank on top of these things, right? And it was not going to go any place. It was really sturdy. But these closets can't, and we can't undo the closets. We just have to live with them. So I have a black shelving unit, just one you get plastic one from Sam's or Walmart. And when Christina was getting married, I used that for drying all of her wood flowers. I don't know if you can see it back there, but there's wood flowers that we did for her wedding. And I had to make tons of them and dye them all the colors needed to get done for the wedding and all that kind of stuff. So I used those as drying racks to dry the flowers. But after her wedding, there was just junk all on those cabinets. And I have been looking probably for the past year for containers for my shelf. And I found them at Kohl's. Great deal. Loved them. Found them. And was actually able to put 10 of the containers on the shelving unit so that we could actually put clothes. Because behind this little thingamabob, is our TV. And I had laundry baskets and at every time we had to do a live, they had to get moved because y'all would see them. And then I said, I'm sick. Hey, Kana Corso, come on, welcome on in. I was like, I'm tired of moving these things. I don't want to move them every time I do a live. And I want to have places, so I have laundry baskets and I've got places to store them. And I can tell you, since we did that, then we have the TV cabinets has shelves, and we undid that. Now everything's on the den bedroom bed, that has to be done. But there was a sense of I came into my room going, at least it looks halfway decent. It doesn't look like it's all cluttered. So it does make a difference. Organization is a priority. I know I struggle with it. And sometimes with the fibromyalgia, I can't always organize as much as I want to. But I think that if you're kind of in a discouraging moment and you're working on something or doing something and it's just going, oh my goodness gracious, you know what? Go get some cleaning done. Turn on some music and go get some cleaning done. And get out of the headspace that you're going into. You know, sometimes just turning on some music and just dancing does a heck of a lot of things too. I can't do much dancing anymore, but it does. Download some new apps. This is one that's so trivial, but I like it. Don't waste your life playing games, but find a new app for your phone. It can make you more productive and lift a mood. At least it lifts for mine. I thought that was great. Maybe find that. Or maybe if you're in a discouraging moment, there's so many podcasts. There's so many people on YouTube. Find something that's positive and encouraging and just listen to it. Guys, we got to stop sometimes the rolling stuff that goes in the head. Because sometimes those things just take you away. If I had said to myself 10 minutes ago, there's only one person on in this chat, and guess what? Me. I'd have just said, forget it. Nobody's going to show up. I'm going to turn off the live. If I had done that, how many people showed up? I was going to show up for myself. I'm not going to let the things that I know can get in there and go, and let them just take off. They don't get permission to do that. You know, I was listening to, and I really like him, and I'm trying to think who he is now. He's with Dave Ramsey, and he's like a counselor with Dave Ramsey, and he does stuff. I forgot who he is. He's really good. And he sat there and he was talking to this woman, and she was talking about a relationship she had been in for 20 years and had this and this and this. And he said, wait a minute. He said, can I ask you a question? He said, you can't worry about this. You know that this has been a problem for 20 years. You're not here to clean up anybody else's mess. You have to decide. You have a blank piece of paper now with a pen. How are you going to write your story from this point forward? Not anybody else's story, your story. How are you going to write your story? From this point forward, is your story going to be the same as what has been going on for the past 20 years? Or you've now been handed a clean sheet of paper with a pen. How is your story going to look? I love that. These kids have to grow up and move out. They can get organized. I know the feeling. Absolutely. That's something to think of. You have a fresh piece of paper you start with every day. You have a fresh piece of paper. You can choose how you're going to write your story. Is it going to be the same old thing? If you are passionate about growing a community, we're not building an audience, we're growing a community here. We are passionate here at Blessed to Crochet about doing it. We're passionate about it over at Blessings Through Connection. We are passionate. There's a passion inside of me about making sure people feel as if they are connected, they have community, they have support. Nobody ever feels like they're by themselves. There's a passion I have for that. I need the connection because it keeps me going. It helps me with my pain level. My mama, with whatever little revenue comes through, and as this channel grows, goes to her, and it helps her. I'm all about it. Okay? But we have to just remember, we have a fresh piece of paper every day. We can choose what we're going to write on it. Confide in someone. If discouragements last more than a day or two, talk to someone. Sometimes just talking about how you're feeling can make you feel better. Listen, guys, I don't think we need to wait 1 or 2 days. If we are discouraged about something, we have people here in our link tree. I'll put that in the chat. You have the ability to be able to go into Blessings Through Connection. We have that Facebook. We also have the Lighthouse Beacons, and then we have the Blessings Through Connection, but that's just really kind of a chat to put the stuff if you have YouTube stuff in there. But there's the link tree for the blessing, or the the lighthouse beacons. If you're discouraged about something, put it in there. I guarantee you people are going to pop up and help you. I don't think we need to wait. Because if we wait 1 or 2 days, that's the only thing I disagree with this article. If we wait 1 or 2 days, what happens? It starts going, right? And by the time you're there, you're already 5 steps down the road. And wait a minute, you have to go back. You have to work harder to get back. So the moment you can even deter, hey, wait a minute, I'm getting discouraged about this, I think we need to reach out to somebody just then and say, listen, can you help me walk me through this? I'm starting to get discouraged. Don't wait. I think waiting for that is probably not a good thing to do. Learn something new. Read a book. Take a webinar. Chase down some tweet links. Learning helps break mental stalemates. It's almost almost always a positive experience, like I did with the AI baby thing. I had no idea what I was doing. I just saw everybody doing not everybody, but a lot of people were doing the AI baby thing, and I'm like, this cannot be that difficult. And when I get into it, I realized it actually is. Once you get it and you understand how to do it, it's not too bad. But, learning how to do it's a little bit, you have to kind of do it and figure out and find the editing softwares that will allow you to create it for free, and then this and that. And, you just have to kind of go through it. But learning how to do it was actually pretty fun. And it kind of broke up, some of the stuff we have to do through this channel, this and that on the stuff for the daily things to keep everything running. Encourage someone else. Get your mind off you. Encouraging someone else can leave you feeling better. That's not why you should do it, but sometimes it will snap you out of the funk. Absolutely. If we remember that if I could have been here going, well, I'm discouraged. I'll forget this whole thing. I'm not walking away, but I'm just going to walk away. But I figured I'm not the only one struggling with discouragement. I don't care what you're going through in life. You're going through something in life that is discouraging you. We all have experienced it. We're all in it. We've all gone through a season of it. We've all gone through it. And we have to remember that if we can get our mind off of ourselves and onto something else, I figured maybe this would help somebody in the chat. Maybe this would help a video down the road for somebody to listen to. Of course, if you're listening to this, hopefully you got through the first 10 minutes of me realizing the mic was on. I don't think it was on for that long, but that I was muted. But I can edit that out, hopefully. But we have to realize if we can serve others, and that's the next one that's down there. If we can serve others, we can get ourselves away from our own headspace. Sometimes we need to do that. Maybe go volunteer someplace, go to a food kitchen someplace. Do something to get your mind off of everything, right? Just get your mind off of everything. And we're going to actually stop there. We're at 14. So before we go any further, we're kind of like halfway, a little bit more than halfway. We're actually going to stop because we're going to do our weekly recaps. We do weekly recaps that come out every Monday at 8 p.m. Those weekly recaps are actually our channel shoutouts we do daily. Those come out 12 o'clock on both this channel and Blessings Through Connection and so forth. And so we do those into a weekly recap with our theme song, and we put those out on both channels. And on Blessings Through Connection, we literally run those almost once or twice during the stream when we're over there, and we drop people's links in the chat. And so we're awesome that we can be able to do that. We love those. And so when you see the weekly recaps come out, all the channels for all the shout outs are in that place. But take a moment, go ahead and look at look at, go ahead and look at the shout outs daily. They come out at noon on both channels every day. And here is also, no, that's not the one I'm looking for. Hold on a second, guys. I saw it earlier. Now I got to remember where I stuck it. We actually changed this. I'll have to change this on here. But every day, we changed it to network, from network to hub. Every day at 12 o'clock midnight. And you will see the date, of course, is not there on the, there's a date in the bottom. But every day, there's a date that's on the bottom for you guys to go in. It's in Mocha's Daily Connection Hub. And then on Blessings Through Connection, it's our car. We have named her Lizzie. That was my great-grandmother's name. And that is the Daily Connection Hub, that little engine that's going. And we're going to be getting merch soon out with that little car, keep those engines going. And that's thanks to Alfonso. If you haven't connected with him, we're going to raid him after we get done with this. But those are both there at 12 o'clock midnight with the date below. But that's a great way to make a connection, make a comment. If you've already connected with somebody, go over, and if they've made a comment, go over there and watch one of their shorts. Leave a comment, make a connection, give them the support. It's a great way to do that, and we put those up daily for you guys to participate in. So we're going to take a moment and listen to our theme song, give the voice a break for a minute, and let you all connect with the channels we have for this weekly recap. And the weekly recaps are the same on both channels. They're just different because, the color schemes are different. And of course, we use the theme song for each channel.
Friendship blooms in every line, a tapestry of hearts combined. In the chat we stitch our souls, no yarn, just stories making us whole. A loop of kindness never ends, crochet connection, we're more than friends. Gentle glow that lights our days. With every knot we grow so near, a woven bond that draws us here. In the chat we stitch our souls, no yarn, just stories making us whole. A loop of kindness never ends, crochet connection, we're more. Souls, no
So that is our YouTube shuffle, guys. Hopefully, yeah, that's our YouTube shuffle. We have connection to the right. We have connection to the left. Hi, Country Homestead. How you doing? We have connection to the left. We have connection to the right. Right. That's what we're doing. We're building we're building a community. So number 14, ways of getting to go get through personal struggle that you may be going through, discouragement, is get some sleep. Well, boy, that was not, my body wasn't listening to this last night, was it? Don't miss this one. I agree with, a good night's sleep is 70% of discipline. Take a nap, go to bed early. Our culture is sleep deprived. Few things impact mood more than sleep. So I can tell you today, and this was kind of perfect, right? Today, last night, I could not fall asleep for anything. Finally, about 5:30 in the morning, I was getting sleepy. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I got up to use the restroom, and my sciatic nerve has been on and off lately. It's been deciding whether or not it wants to behave itself. And I got up, and I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm like, it was really cranking. I mean, it was just like, I got to the restroom and back, but it was just really cranking. And about the time I kind of came back to bed, I put on the heating pad on my back, and I, kind of moved myself around a little bit. And then Josh, shortly after that, well, that's good. I'm glad. I hope you're feeling better though. But I'm glad you showed on up. I appreciate it. But then I got all settled with the heating pad on my back. And Josh says to me, my sugar's crashing. So I had to figure out how I was going to get up, go through, get some apple juice, come back through. And sure enough, the minute I'm ready to go back to sleep, and then at this point I'm hungry. At this point at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I'm hungry now. And I'm like, okay, now I'm hungry. Now what am I going to do? So now I had to figure out to myself, well, I've got to get something to eat. So I ate something, and then I finally got sleepy. It was like 6:30 in the morning. Well, he wears CPAP, and he finds out if he wears CPAP and he actually puts tape over his mouth, the special tape that they use for that, and he has CPAP, it works better, right? So he had the CPAP. Well, he didn't have the CPAP on. He didn't have the tape on. So he is snoring like a banshee. And I hated to wake him up. I didn't feel like I wanted to wake him up. So, and anybody's looking for the Lighthouse Speaking Group, that link just drops. You guys can click over there and just get approved to get in, and we'll get you on in. And so I finally said, well, this is about a half an hour of trying to struggle with this. I just picked up my pillow and went through to the couch. I got all comfy, and the door opens, and he says, well, because for him, the minute the light comes in, he's usually awake. And I said to him, he said, honey, go back to bed. And I'm like, I'm already here. And it took me about another 15 minutes to get up the energy to go back to bed. So I finally got back into my bed. It's 7:30. And then at 10:30, we're expecting our new phones. This phone knows it is on the way out. I can tell you that. Expecting our new phones to come in and everything. So I thought from everything I read that they were going to be here this morning, and they weren't. It was actually the router coming from Spectrum, and the phones won't be here till Monday. So Josh comes through at 10:30 trying to be very quiet. He wasn't. To look at my phone to find out about the phones, realizing, guess what? They're not here because we were going to have to sign for them. And so I was like, so I finally, at 10:30, I might as well get up. So I had about 4.5 hours sleep. Now I did catch a little cat nap before I came on a little bit. But at the same time, hi Ashes and Embers, at the same time I was sitting there going, I am so tired. So I totally understand when you are tired, your mood struggles. Here's something else. As a fibromyalgia patient, as a chronic pain patient, I 9 out of 10 times feel as if I wake up, I didn't feel like I got enough sleep, didn't feel like I rested at all. And that's just usually what happens with fibromyalgia patients. And guess what? It is a battle to sit there and say you have to battle through that. It's very, very difficult. It's hard. And so I'm used to that, but all day I've kind of felt like I've been dragging my feet a little bit because I'm like, I am really tired. Because guess what? I didn't have sleep last night. And so that can affect your mood. That can, I think, aspirate if you're going through a time where you're just kind of discouraged. And it happens to each and every one of us. And this article is really good. Number 15, we have a couple more to go. Accomplishment on a short-term win. Look at the list of things that you can do. Knock out a couple of things off your list. At least now there's something small to cheer about. Absolutely. We are a month behind in our devotions. And I said, okay, you've taken a month off. Monday, you have got to get back on the train and get stuff recorded for Blessings Through Connection, recorded for Blessed to Crochet. You've got to get stuff started to be edited. Enough. And the one thing about our devotions, and I've said it throughout, if you're somebody that does watch those, even though the one dropped, I think I dropped it on Friday or Saturday, I have more to edit, edit, and editing struggle is real, right? Oh, love my mic? It's a magic. I'll show you in a minute. It's magic. Even if they drop on the 10th and it's now June 10th and now it's going to be August 10th, the world's bestseller, as far as what book is the bestseller, that devotion can be good 365 days a year. So if you're somebody that pays close to the devotions, we are getting caught up. We will get caught up, I promise you. With everything that happened in my aunt's passing in March, we just got way off track. We were doing pretty good until that happened. And then stuff happened with my health that went sideways. So we're getting back on track. But if you're somebody that watches those devotions, even if it's not the day of the day, go find one of them that speaks to you. You will get fed, I promise you, even if it's not on the day. We are getting caught up, and I appreciate tremendously everybody's patience, and I'm planning to get caught up, promise. I'll show you ashes to embers what happens. Like I said, it's magic. I have so many different colors that I can choose. Mood lighting, right? Hi, Sandy. So many different colors we can go through. Actually, when I was recording Blessings Through Connection, this is the color I should have used. When I did all the recording, so I have to go back and actually use this color when I'm recording any of the stuff for Blessings Through Connection. But because our channel is purple, that's why I use the purple light. When I have my daughter on, her favorite color is this color. It's like a turquoise color, so I always put that on for her. That's the other color of Blessings Through Connection, or Blessed to Crochet is turquoise. But it goes through magic. We can choose any color, but purple's my color. But I have to look. I guess I should find this. It's on a stand. When we got this, we got the camera, Logitech camera. It was $30, and I think this starts with an M. It's hold on a second, I'll tell you which one it is. It's MAONO microphone, and I got it on eBay. And I spent $30 when we first got the YouTube going and the camera, because I knew both of those things on our old computer that's sitting here that served us well before we kind of had to upgrade to. And we just bought, when we upgraded computers, we just upgraded to a $100 computer that could hold the speed, unlike this one. And then when I can afford to do it, we'll have my son-in-law build us a computer, because he can build computers. But I had to do something in the interim because this one was going. It's kind of like the situation with our phones. Let me see if I can show you all. See. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this. On the bottom of my phone, can you see? Can you see that line on the bottom? Right there, you can see the line. So on my phone, that's one of the issues it's having to have with that, is that there's a line on the bottom. And then and then my battery is just not even holding a charge anymore. So my phone is like dying very, very, very quickly. And we got hopefully an excellent deal through Spectrum. I'm hoping we did. We have never, in the entire time, we are an iPhone family. We've had iPhones since we were, oh goodness gracious, since 2013. So we have all our music on iPhones. We've had them for almost 17, 18 years. All of our music is on iPhones, all of our stuff. And I know how to edit. I know how to use it, all that kind of stuff. And the entire time we've ever had iPhones, we've never had the newest, greatest thing. We've always had, many generations behind, and we've always bought them outright. This time we couldn't afford to do that. And I did look at a suggestion from somebody who said, look at TrackPhone. I did look at them. Unfortunately, they have iPhones. If anybody's ever looking for one, they have iPhones, but they're not enough memory. I use a lot of memory with all the editing stuff we're doing on it. I use my phone a lot to edit. And so that was not going to work. And they run off the AT&T towers, which we are actually, that's what we're running off now, is Cricket. And up here, there's not a lot of AT&T. And so we're really struggling with some of the service. Sometimes our calls will be dropped. You guys have seen me when we've tried to, go live, and it's all grainy and comes in and out. And so we thought we can't go where we're going to another company that's possibly AT&T. And at least we can finance the phones. My mom gets a free line. So hopefully it's exactly what the person says it's going to be. I'm hoping. So I didn't want to have to get new phones, but it is what it is. My mom's phone she needs a new battery on her phone. I need a new battery. My screen, I'm wondering when my screen's going to cause real big issues. And we get to turn all on our phones for trade-in. And then whatever we would have spent to replace the screen and the battery and my mom's battery, we paid in taxes for the phones we're getting. So the struggle is real, that's for sure. Well, I'll let you know whether or not, I'm hoping what the guy told me is exactly what the price is going to be, because we've had our times where people have told us things and it's way off what the price is going to be. So I'm hoping. So the phone should be here Friday or Monday, and then we'll be transferring everything over, and then we'll let you know. We'll see what the service does. I'm going to do a review on it, believe me. So we were on getting some sleep, accomplishing a short-term win, getting some time alone. I think that we forget, guys. It gets so much. I know. And the problem is, just a little quick side note, the problem is you get to a point with some of these companies, you kind of don't know who to believe anymore. It's like, are you really telling me it? Are you telling me to get a sale? Are you going to tell me that this is what the price is going to be? And I'm telling you, the guy that I had to deal with Spectrum, he was with me for an hour and a half. And I said to him, you might as well be into Fort Knox. Because I think I could break into there quicker than I can, doing anything. Because it was just, there was no way for him in his system to put in all the things and say, this is what your bill is going to be. There was no way for him to do it. And we got a better deal calling in than we would have even got on the internet. And I'm like, they got to make this easier for you. My mom did the Flowbee yesterday, but I think we got some stragglers I need to take care of. It was like he had to do this by pen and paper in order to figure out exactly what the price was going to be per month. I gave him a lot of credit. I got to send a note to his boss and tell him what a great guy he was, and hope to goodness gracious I can say at the very end of all this that It's exactly what he told me the bill was. And it's about what we're paying now between the internet and the phones together. We're probably going to be paying like $10 more a month. But it'll be worth it for better phone reception and new phones that don't have black lines across them. For sure, right? And what's nice, just a little side note, is it has the MAGA cases. So I can have one of those chargers. I guess my husband put one of those things on here. But it has we got MAGA case charger cases, that charge. I guess that's what they are. I don't even know anything. But anyway, we got the chargers that go here. So when I want to be on a live on my phone, that charger can go here and keep my phone charged. And I can be able to put the little dongle thing in for the mic, and I don't have to choose between charging my phone and using the microphone. I get both of them. Yay! So that's one thing that is a plus, actually. That's a plus. So getting some time alone, I think we forget this. Sometimes, yes, I was very glad he made the effort. I just hope that he's accurate. That's my only thing. I'm going to wait till the bill comes in and then we'll go from there. Yes, the MAGA cases, and like every case that we got through it, we'll put everything that we got for the phones, and I'll put that in. I will put it in, the iPhone, our Linktree store. I think it has to be a phone that can wirelessly charge, whatever. It has to be like a certain iPhone level, but it's going to go on. I'll show you all when I get it. It's going to go on the back. Oh, actually, I have it right here. I can show it real quick. I got some cool stuff. My husband said it's my anniversary present. Like, hi, Joy Joseph. How are you? So apparently, it's this, and it's purple, guys. That purple. We're going to take a break. It's this, right? So this one doesn't have it, but it goes on the back of not on this one, on the phones we're getting. It goes on the back of the mega case, right? Like this. And then that way, when we're going live and I want to charge my phone, I can have this on the back, and then apparently in all the things, they don't have like a wireless thing. Maybe they do, but one that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And so the dongle has to go in here for the microphone. But this way I could have this on the back of the new phones, right? With the cord. And then I can have the microphone, so I don't have to choose whether to charge my phone or not. So apparently. And then I got these. So that's going to be nice. And I got mine purple. Purple's my color, guys. And I have a problem with bending my cord. So does my daughter. And I had to have a little bling. I had to have just a little bling. Look what I got to go on just for fun. Do you not see that? Where they're sparkly? These go on the lens, like on the back of the camera things. Those go on and they're all glittery. So, and of course I'm going to drop them. So anyway, they're on the floor now. I'm not going to pick them up now, but anyway, that was just, they weren't that much. I think they were like $4 or $5 or something. But my husband said that cord and those little jewels on the back are used. And when you see the case I got, you'll say it's me. And I got a case that has our colors for Blessed to Crochet, which, just so you know, the colors for Blessed to Crochet are both my favorite color and Christina's favorite color, which is turquoise and mine is purple. So they're a combination because there is mom's favorite color are those two things. And so because her girls love those two favorite colors. So those are the colors we use for the logo for Blessed to Crochet. And so I'm hoping to be able to get like one of those rings that go on the back or the pop socket, because I guess with the MAGA case you can put that magnetically can just go on the back of it. And I'm hoping to get a pop socket with our logo on it. We're going to be revising our logo a little bit so it's in a circular. It's going to be still pretty much the same, but we want it much more easier to put on merchandise and so forth for it to be circular. But the case I got, you all know, you've seen me do paint pour, and I love paint pour. Well, this is a purple and turquoise with a little bit of gold running through paint pour case, so it's really pretty cool. So I'll show you all. But we hated to invest. But you know what? We looked at each other and we said, guess what? We both spend, hi Jeanette, we both spend about $30 a piece on each other for Christmas. We said, this is our Christmas to all of us. So we're not going to get a lot of Christmas presents for the three of us. Our phones are our early Christmas present. And then my husband's birthday is in June or January. So I said, guess what? Happy birthday early. So we just said, this is our Christmas. We're not going to spend a lot on Christmas because this is something we need and something we know we'll all enjoy. So that's what we did. And we allowed ourselves to pick cases out that we really enjoyed and we really were going to like and so forth. And we just said to each other, okay, we're looking at this for Christmas and Merry Christmas early. So that's good stuff for the kids. We don't need a lot, right? Just got each other. We'll be fine. So remember, the 16 is get some time alone. So sometimes just needing some time alone, especially if you're inverted. So do it. I think that we forget that sometimes these wonderful things that right now, wonderful things we need to do with this is we need to shut these things off. We need these things, guys. I have talked about this in length of the importance for myself of dealing with a chronic illness and dealing with fibromyalgia. I'm sitting here hurting. There's not a time that I'm not sitting in some place that I don't hurt. Okay? I've actually sat in church with an ice pack on the back of my back because I've been in so much pain. I've sat with pillows under one side of my thing tilted like this because that's the way I've got to sit. There's not a time in my life where I'm not sitting and saying, I hurt someplace, something hurts, something's going on. It just happens. And so if I'm dealing with that and I have to try to go outside, right? Outside of my what have you, my house, and I'm hurting. When you are dealing with fibromyalgia patient, thank you, High Country, and welcome on into our community, Joy Joseph. I tend to actually sometimes when you're a pain patient or a chronic pain patient, fibromyalgia, sometimes the touch of somebody touching your skin hurts. Us women that wear bras, sometimes that's not something that I can tolerate doing or wearing. So I have to wear really loose clothing because sometimes clothing in itself bothers me. So when I'm going through those days, right, I can't go out. There's days I literally cannot go out. If I'm having trouble with my back, if I'm having trouble with my fibromyalgia, if I didn't have a great sleep, that's why working a job is not something that I can do. And because I just never know my day-to-day. I don't know what I'm going to be like day-to-day. I don't get the revenue from this channel. Mom gets it. I get the connection. That is one of the reasons why somebody asked us why we don't do what we're doing over at Blessings Through Connection, right? We're doing it over here. And I said, because I want that channel to be so focused on absolute connection, growing, helping people and connect. And what I'm finding about that channel too is, yes, it's just your sensor. I mean, I can touch it today and this, I can feel it. It hurts. Sometimes even just going like this, it just hurts. I mean, it's not fun. I'm telling you. But we're doing that channel. And so the only time we may do a live on that channel is if we are, maybe if we have members and we offer a members only live. But other than that, I'm really trying to not make it a channel that we ever go live with you seeing my face like you do here. Because there's been times where I can handle doing that, but I can't handle coming on a live. I'm having to wear really soft clothing. I can't handle much, and I can handle that in doing that environment because I may be struggling and having a bad day. But you know what? I get in there, I hear the relaxing music. Actually, we were supposed to run 2 hours on there today. And I had to say to everybody, guys, I have to get out of here because this music is putting me to sleep because I only had 4.5 hours sleep last night. And I had to actually leave a little bit early. And I don't want that. I want it to be the focus off. Let you guys come in there, do all the connection, make all the connection you need to make all the support. Everybody kind of mingles with each other and take the focus off of me. That's why we're taking that channel too and putting the music, which I'm going to run tomorrow. If you guys can't comment over there on that channel, when we run our calming blessing streams, right? Our calming blessing streams, you won't be able to comment on those. The Let's Connect, if you see Let's Connect, those ones you can. The calming blessing streams are totally, we turn all the comments off, and it gives me, I take about 2 minutes, I let things run, the intro and all that kind of stuff, get things set up, and then I just let them run and loop for about 6 to 8 hours. And you guys can go in there, you won't be able to comment, but maybe that'll just be some relaxing things. And we have some playlists going over there. It says Calming Blessing Streams, and it just says the music and the background, video background for you guys to just listen to. So we're offering that because we have people that came in there and said, I love the background, I love the music. We have some over here, and we have a playlist over here at Blessed Through Crochet with beautiful, just, relaxing rain and thunderstorm and whales, and I can't remember, horses and all this kind of stuff. And we'll probably be doing some more over here too, and revitalizing that again a little bit. But this way you guys can have those, as well as having the place where we can connect. Because in the Let's Connect stream, you're hearing me talk, you're hearing the weekly recap shout outs, you're hearing the YouTube shuffle, you're hearing all of those things. And we wanted to give people the calming blessing streams as a way of just having to turn that on and just, because sometimes, guys, we need to turn our phones off. We need to just have quiet. Let our minds stop racing. Sometimes it's really hard. Our minds just start racing, and boy, phew, before you know it, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Mary, I don't have a lot of people around me that I can talk to about this and them understand. I'm so glad I found you. I'm glad you did too. That's why I did this, because I know people are struggling. They don't understand it. They don't. And when you're dealing with a chronic illness and you're dealing with chronic pain, it's like, oh, well, you should be able to do this. You should be able to do this. And I've had therapists who have said to me, you can't, I've had several therapists say, I'd love to be able to work. I've worked hard on my entire life. And they said, you can't, because you never know what you're going to do, then what you're going to be the next day. Whether you're going to be able to do it, whether you're going to be able to function. I can't stand for long periods of time because of my back. I never know what it's going to be like. I don't never know whether I'm going to have a pain chill episode, whether I'm going to have a migraine. And if I have any of those, everything has to stop and I have to take care of myself. So make sure too, if you're in a moment of discouragement, you are doing self-care. Now I'm going to read these because they're in the article. So I'm going to read these two things. Because I come from a perspective of faith. You don't have to believe what we believe. I want everybody coming in here, and we try very hard on our Blessed to Crochet streams not to focus too much on that during our lives, because we know that can be at times divisive, and we don't. But if you're somebody that is believing in the faith of Jesus and God, take some moments and pray. Get quiet and pray. He's one that you can go to and say, I am discouraged. And he can lift you up. Get into your Bible. Start reading your Bible, because there's plenty of stories in there of discouragement. And if you're trying to find out where can I find it, go and Google, right? Google knows everything, and put in Bible verses that show discouragement, and they'll show you the Bible verses to go to. And if you're like me and have trouble reading, I was diagnosed with a learning disability, but not dyslexia, and I most likely have dyslexia. So I have a very hard time. Everything kind of gets jumbled up in my head a lot, and I have difficulty with it. And so I tend to find myself in a position of, I find it much easier if somebody reads to me versus somebody, me trying to read to myself. So if you're somebody like that, don't be frustrated. If you're trying to read a book and you can't do it, look for it audibly. Go in and read the Bible verses audibly. Let it be read to you, and don't feel guilty about doing it that way. If it's how you need to do it, do it. I've stopped saying to myself, I should be able to read this. No, I do better if I read and follow along, and I absorb it 10 times better. So if that's what you need to do, do it. Number 19 is listen to some great music. Guess what? Put on Elvis music anytime. I'm a huge Elvis fan, so put on some Elvis music. Listen to some great music. Another thing is watch a comedy. Those always make you laugh, don't they? Now, I'm going to tell you somebody that I got to meet. She has since gone and gone to be with the Lord, but she is amazing. And at a time in my life when I was just going through a lot of stuff, she was a person I found by accident on Facebook. And I would listen to her. I got to see her twice in concert. If you go to our devotions, I think it was June 3rd, you'll see about Joy, and you'll see that I got to meet her in a picture with her. Jeannie Robertson is amazing. And I will tell you, if you are needing a lift up or a boost up, go listen to any of her stories. I have listened to them over and over again, and I still chuckle and I still laugh, and it still brings back really special memories of me actually going to her concert and listening to her. She's a great humorist. She's clean. She just tells a story. I would start off with sending a man to the grocery store because it's hysterical to listen to, as well as bungee jumping naked. You will laugh. And I laugh just thinking about it. But she has tons of stories on her YouTube channel, and she's since no longer with us. But I'm so glad I had the opportunity to meet her in person and thank her, because at times when I was really going through a difficult time in 2013, and it just seemed like one thing after another, I found her and I listened to her and I got to laugh. And even when I didn't feel like laughing, I would turn on one of her stories and I would still kind of just feel like I was in a little bit better mood than I was. And it was somebody that I really, really enjoyed, and I would highly, highly recommend it. Now, here's the other thing. You high country, believe me, you go listen to some of her stories. It is hysterical. Just go to her YouTube channel and start listening. You will thank me later. I guarantee you. She is funny. Hi, D Gardens. How are you? It's been a while. Here's one thing I want to say. Do not be ashamed of going to talk to somebody. If you are really struggling with discouragement, we are here. We have our Lighthouse Beacon group. That link just dropped on Nightbot, the Facebook group there. We can be here as a place of support. And Sandy, if you want to start dropping anybody's links that have been in here, go right ahead and do that. As we're going to be finishing up here in a few minutes and heading over to Alfonso for some music. But just remember something. You don't be ashamed to say, I need to go talk to a pastor or a counselor or something. You can talk to us. We are here in the Lighthouse Beacons group. We're here when we turn on the Lighthouse with Blessed to Crochet and talk and have these discussions. We're here. But if it's to a point where you're like, I really need to talk to somebody. Guess what? We now, for especially those that are dealing with chronic pain, don't even have to step out of our house. They're on our phones. My husband, actually, I found this nutritionist. He's actually on the phone. I mean, my therapist, who I saw for a year, she's on the phone now. We do phone visits versus me going to her office. And so, you know what? If you really need to talk to somebody, do not be ashamed of going to talk to somebody. You can go talk to somebody. Don't feel ashamed to go talk to somebody. Don't feel as if, it's not, it's you're weak or something. You're actually stronger than you think. And so do not think for one moment, hey, you know what, I must not be strong enough if I don't need to talk to somebody, right? So make sure that if you're really kind of struggling, go talk to somebody. And make sure that you are, having that dialogue with somebody and helping them. Have also, if you're with somebody that a friend of yours that you can trust and you're confident in, have to be maybe an accountability partner where you can sit there and go, okay, let's be accountable. I met her twice. I went to 2 of her concerts. And if you go listen to the devotion that talks about, that talks on January 3rd, you'll see pictures of me with actually standing her. And Mr. Blessed to Crochet is actually one of them. So, I think that we need to realize we can have accountability partners. If we're struggling, let's go into Lighthouse Beacons and say, listen, can I have a couple of people that I can be accountable to? I'm kind of discouraged. Okay? I'm going to do an experiment. Here's my experiment. Because where my discouragement has come in lately has been, well, it's been there, I'm trying to get, I guess since my aunt passed in March, she passed March 10th of this year. I've been trying to get my mojo back. And between that, and then I had some health issues, and then Josh's grandmother's aunt passed away, then his grandmother had issues, it was just one thing after another, trying to get the mojo back, trying to get the energy level back, and all that kind of stuff back. And I know that hit and messed with the algorithm, and so forth. And it was probably a couple days ago, and I had actually gone into some chats, and I had actually connected with some people, and we went from 1848 to 1855. I'm not building an audience, but this is what happens with your little, your mind at times. And so, great. And I got on the phone, I woke up the next morning, and I'm like, where did the 7 subscribers go to? We're not subscribing, we're hitting the connection button, right? Where did they go to? 7 just poof, gone away. And so then last night, of course, I couldn't sleep, so I found myself into some communities and so forth, and we were at 1854. Woke up this morning, we're back to 1847. And I was just sitting there going, it can really play in your little head. Why bother? Come live. Nobody comes in. And the darn notifications don't go out. And the whole thing goes and pops up in your little head. And if I had probably about, I don't even know how long, maybe an hour ago, I was the only one in here for a little bit. And if I had just said, guess what? I'm just going to leave. I'd have missed out on all of you guys coming in and being the amazing people that you are. And I'm so, 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 so grateful. And so, yes, this year has been horrible. Drought, not enough food for the animals, wild dog attacks. Oh, my brother passed away. My mojo has been taking a holiday and left me behind. I feel like the same way. Yeah, well, and Joe Joseph, if you we really recommend here, we recommend it over at Blessings Through Connection. Take a moment when you're in chats, go over and watch at least a 3-minute video or longer, or 3 or 4 of their shorts, comment, and then that way that should keep remember the connection, not the subscribe. We're not connecting, or we're not subscribing. I'm subscribed to Hulu and Netflix. I have no emotional attachment to that. I have an emotional attachment to this channel and the communities that I'm in. I am connecting. I've actually started to change it, because what I used to do was, when I found a new community, and I would go in there and I would say, okay, so and so, and I make a comment, right? I would go ahead and put new subscriber. I stopped doing that a couple days ago, and I said new connection. We can't change the fact that YouTube has it as a subscribe button, right? Guess what? You can change it in your head and say, I'm connecting with that channel. So if you can find like a 3 or 4 shorts, or find a 3-minute video or longer, and connect and comment and hit that subscribe button. Tuber Chat, which if you guys aren't in that, that's a great place to be too as well. If you are in, he even recommends that they have found great success in making sure that your connection certainly goes forward and does what it's supposed to. Now, the thing is, too, that if you can't do that during the time, go ahead and make yourself a playlist and make it private. And then that way, if you can, if somebody drops a link in the chat, you can go over and go to their channel, pick out a short, doesn't matter what. Go ahead and push save that to your own private playlist, and then you can go back after the live is over and go ahead and go back to their channel and do more exploring. So that's just an idea to make sure that your connections really stick. And that's why we focus on that at Blessings Through Connection. We focus it on here. That's why everybody, when they come into Blessings Through Connection, is made a mod, so that we can make sure that all of the connections are really, really sticking. So again, if you're really struggling with discouragement, and you're finding, listen, I need to go talk to somebody, do not be ashamed. Go talk to somebody. These are all really, really, great suggestions, and I will get you that link. It should be in our link tree. I'm going to drop the link tree in. Joe, and you can, Joy, and you can go ahead and go to our link tree. And on our link tree is all of our Facebook groups. And you'll see the lighthouse beacons on there. And it may even drop before we get off here. But you can go to our link tree. That will show you all of our links. If I can get it real quick, I certainly will. But it's there. It's got to get back to. It's a lighthouse beacon group. Copy. But again, let's just look. Where am I? I know where I am. I'm just going to put Lighthouse, and that's our Facebook group for this. So we can look back at the suggestions. So again, one of them was, the first one was, remember past victories. Keep an encouragement file. I absolutely love that one. Number 2. And again, the article is in the description. Get moving. Take a break. Grab lunch with somebody who encourages you. Don't spend too much time with people who discourage you. Work on something new, clean up your workspace, download some new apps on your phone that are actually productive. Confide in somebody, learn something new, encourage someone else, serve somebody else, get some sleep, accomplish a short-term win. Sometimes if we make, and I really didn't go into this too much because I think I got sidetracked, if we focus too much on the long wins, we gotta look at the short terms. We got to make those lists and say, hey, I can win on these things today, and make sure we do that. Get some time alone. If you're someone that has believes and has faith, pray, read the Bible, listen to some great music, watch a comedy, and get some help. Listen, turn on I Love Lucy. I did that recently. Stay off of social media if you need it, right? Absolutely, 100%. So, we all are going to get discouraged. And if you guys haven't seen, I don't know if you all were able to see that, but I did a short, I was really proud of myself. Actually, it is the picture that I got for this thumbnail came off of this short, and I thought I did pretty good on it, and I learned something new. So if you guys are, because they're kind of everywhere, and I'm going to be doing some more of these, taking some of our audio from some of our stuff and putting it and doing baby AI things. So they're just a bunch of fun to do, actually. I found myself fun. And listen to the whole thing, because I should have reversed it, but I didn't. But by the time I thought of it, like, it already hit 100 likes and I wasn't going to undo it. But I may redo it so it has both versions of it, because I really, really like it. But anyway, at the very end of that clip with the baby AI, me taking something out of a live yesterday, there's clapping, and at the very end of the thing, it says, "Help is on the way, dear. Help is on the way." Mrs. Doubtfire, because I figured out that's what we're doing. We're helping each other get through this thing that we call life. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. And we can do it together, guys. We're in this whole thing. And I just approved you to come in. We're in this thing together. Absolutely. So we're going to head over in a minute to Alfonso's live. We're going to take a moment. We do have memberships. They're never expected. They are appreciated. There's our 99-cent membership and our $2.99 that just gets the videos out early. But it takes us a moment to actually dance. It first thanks our members for just participating and help us keep, some of the extra content we're able to do. But then at the very end, of course, we see Elvis. And I'm all about doing that every time I can. And then it also reminds you, thank you very much, guys, for showing on up. If I was discouraged before I went on to this live, guess what? I'm not discouraged now. You all lifted me up, and that's exactly what we're supposed to do. It also reminds you that to be a blessed disco ball, because you guys are, if you got to look at the saying, a disco ball is made up of a bunch of pieces of broken glass. You're not broken. You're a blessed disco ball. Something to that thing. So it reminds you to be that awesome disco ball that you are, and we can do that and shine together. So let's just take a moment and just do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We got to see Elvis, right? And has anybody, real quick before I leave, have you all heard, some of you all heard the YouTube shuffle? But let's remember we can do this. We've got to realize we've got to hit the connection button, and we've got to do the YouTube shuffle. So we're going to play this just real quick. And I agree. It was absolutely hilarious. And you guys got to go check that over. It says We Shine Brighter Together. Go ahead and look at that one. And put in there if you want me to make more. Because now I figured out how to make them. I'm a little hooked on them. I loved it with the sunglasses. You know, the sunglasses and me, and actually it did amazing because I had that top that I'm wearing in the picture with that. I had crocheted that top, and I thought, man alive, it did pretty good with the crocheted top. I'm telling you, I was like really, really impressed with it. It was like, yep, I'm liking this. And then I just took what we said yesterday, and then of course I put the help is on the way, dear. So anyway, let's get off here. Let's get over to Alfonso. Join me over there. He's done our logo for Blessed to Crochet. He's done our logo for Blessings Through Connection. He did our car, Lizzie. Guys, remember we also have this. The guys that are coming in. Let's see. Remember, we have these daily. They drop at 12 o'clock. It's called the Mocha's Connection Hub. We changed it from hub to network. These drop at 12 o'clock every night. You guys can go in. The date of the post is on there so you guys know when the date is. That's the one for Blessed to Crochet. And then this is the one through Blessing Through Connection. And the car is Lizzie. That's what we've named her. And that car is going to be on merch soon with Keep Those Connection Engines Going. But he did the car. He helped us with doing the stuff for the merchandise for the car. He's helped us with our logo. He's amazing. He is just amazing. And he has some site issues, but he still does it. I don't know how he does it. He's amazing. And he's actually going to just take our logo and make it a little bit more circular. And I'm so grateful for his friendship. So we're going to head over to Alfonso, just give him some support. And we're going to raid over there real quick. More connection, guys. And we do have a live on Blessings Through Connection at 7 o'clock on Monday. And then, next week, before I get off here, next week, we are hoping we're going to take you guys to go see balloons. Yay! How many want to see balloons? Hopefully, God willing. We're going to go ahead and see balloons. Next Saturday, there is a balloon and a laser thing. We're going to go take you all to see that. And we'll have our new phones, so hopefully they'll work better than these ones will. And we won't have any issues with, cutting in and out. So we're going to go see the balloons. There's a Blueberry Festival we may go to on Friday. And then on September 14th, the Clydesdales with the Budweisers are coming to Ashland, Ohio, and we're going to go see them and take them to see you. So we've got some things coming on up. Please make more. Yep. I'm guys, I'm not stopping. I am not stopping. There has been times in the past little bit where I've thought, why even bother? We have a community of 1850 and I can go live and nobody wants to come in. I'm not giving up. I am a very determined person when I'm determined to do something. I'm not looking at 18. I'm looking at 2K. I'm not looking at even the 2K. I'm not looking at building an audience. I'm looking at building a community. See, when you raise a special needs child, you get very lonely very quickly because nobody understands. And I remember being on a couch with a dear friend of mine who I love, laughing over using a selfie stick with her phone, trying to figure out how to use it. And we were laughing, and I got in the car, and instead of laughing, I was crying because I couldn't remember the last time I had sat on a couch with somebody and laughed. Because I didn't have friends that wanted to come beside me and try to understand what my life was like as a special needs mom. They didn't understand it. The parents were worse than the kids. And I didn't have a lot of people to lean on. When my dad had dementia, and I'll never forget praying to God that he would forget my name first before anybody else, because I knew my daughter couldn't handle it. I remember the first day he did. And I looked at him and I said, "Hi, Dad." He goes, "Nice to meet you." And I said, "You've forgotten who I am." And he never said my name after that. I kept it together. I said, "Dad, I'm your daughter." He said, "You are?" And I walked out of the house. We had houses that were next to each other, so, I could be there for my dad. And I remember going out of the house next to mine and just bawling my eyes out in my bathroom because I didn't want anybody to see me cry. My husband wasn't home. I didn't want my daughter to see me crying. That is why this is such a passion of mine. I don't want anybody to feel like they're by themselves and they don't have anybody to talk to. And they're alone. You guys are not alone. You have us. You have a community. YouTube is growing in connection and community. And we are shouting out great communities. We want you guys to be connected. And you guys are more than just people. We're family here. We are family. And we're going to continue to grow. I'm not stopping. And thank you all for the encouragement, because this girl needed it. I really, really needed it tonight. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really needed it. You guys made my night. And I'm not stopping. I refuse to. I'm just not, it's not happening. And you guys mean the world to me. So thank you for everybody that came on in. And I'm going to definitely make more, baby. The thing is that I have to, thank you, High Country. The thing is that I have, in order to you have to create the image. And if I ever figure out how to share on this, what is this dang on thing? The Streamlabs properly. I'll show you all how to do it. But you have to do it under Chat GPS. And you have to wait 24 hours for it to generate another picture unless you want to pay for it. And then you have to go into a program that I may have to get a subscription for in order to do. So I can show people how to do it, but I'm definitely doing more. Definitely. Could you imagine Mocha as a little baby? I know we got to be careful with AI, but I'm telling you, I'm going to start doing, we're going to have a whole thing of me in different outfits, and even maybe my mom in different outfits. So it would be really cute of taking certain things and so forth. We're going to do more of those, and I'm going to get better at them. I had so much fun. I was like this, they were kind of nerve-wracking to do. Like, these aren't as hard as they look. So maybe I'll be able to show you guys how to do it when I get a little bit better. But I think for my first one, I did pretty good. So let's go over and check out Alfonso. Thank you guys for being the awesome people that you are. Remember to be proud of being yourself. Everyone else is taken. Keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook is required. And remember, we got you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered. And we'll see you over on Alfonso's channel. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye. We love you.
So proud of being